Welcome, YouTube fans. Week 2 of the playoffs on Offsides. We're joined by the three amigos here, as you know, Randy, myself, Michael, and Rolf to my right. We're going to talk about the first couple of games. We got the Saints and Seahawks. Now, this game, the dynamic was something we kind of expected. We actually called this game fairly close when it came to our guesses. Saints lost 15-23 to the Seahawks. The Seahawks actually did pretty good against Drew Brees. Now, was the weather a factor for Drew Brees to lose this game, Randy?
No. There was this weather for both the teams. He won in the cold Philadelphia game. I don't think the weather is that big of a deal to Drew Brees. I mean, he is a smaller quarterback with smaller hands, but the ball wasn't fluttering out of his hands. It wasn't coming out of his hands, where it didn't look like he was. I just think the Seattle defense is just far and away better than that New Orleans offense. And in that environment, Seattle's home.
Right, hard to win there.
It's just hard to win there.
Hard to win there.
And not to mention watching Colston throw the ball 5 yards forward when he thinks that's a lateral.
Yeah,
why not just step out of bounds? Yeah.
Right. What was the
Give Drew Brees one more chance.
Was that a coach's fault calling like this kind of jacked up play toward the end to try to miracle this?
Any way you look at it, it's a miracle. If he steps out of bounds and they try to throw that Hail Mary, any way you look at it, it's going to be a miracle play. Right. So they were trying to take control of it and make it something that they thought they had a better chance with.
Gotcha.
So catch them off guard with and had it been a backwards pass, that probably could have caught him off guard. It just happened to be a forward pass.
They're playing Air Force football in the NFL. It's not going to work.
He was aiming down the field. Yeah. It's like they tell him it's like if you're going to throw a pass across the field, you should probably be aiming behind where you're standing. It's like if you're facing north, you throw it south. But he just threw it. He kept throwing it north.
It's probably the first pass he's ever thrown.
Well, and they probably shouldn't let him do that.
And obviously, the Seahawks riding the train of Marshawn Lynch. I mean, unbelievable running, unbelievable. I mean, you saw I feel like the whole Saints defense had to be collaborative to just tackle him and stop him because he just kept going. He just kept going all day on them, and it definitely showcased that offense. Like, during the environment, it's raining, gusts of wind. It's not the best for throwing, and so we're going to hand off the ball and take care of business. And sure enough, they did. I mean, great job.
He set a playoff record for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I watched Marshawn Lynch. I watched him shrug off a 330-pound defensive lineman. Just kind of flicked his shoulders, and the guy was gone. That's a 300. That wasn't a linebacker. That wasn't a safety. That was a defensive lineman who's paid to stop little running backs.
Sure.
Marshawn Lynch flicked him off like he was nothing.
Amazing. And then we have the next game, Colts-Patriots. Patriots just ran away with this one, and looking at their roster, I don't think they should be able to run with anything. I mean, the only thing that shows up is Tom Brady, but Tom Brady knows how to get it done. I mean, 43-22 stopping the Colts, but look, is he still making too many bad decisions? Is he still too much of a rookie? I mean, it's still his second year. I get it. I mean, are we putting too much pressure on Luck? Do we expect him to go out there and be able to win all these kind of games like this?
I think he was trying to make too much happen with no weapons. I mean, I told you Belichick would figure a way to cover T.Y. Hilton.
Right.
And he did.
Well, we knew he would do that. We knew it's it's like we got one wide receiver to cover. We're going to cover that guy. And
he doesn't really have anybody else.
Right.
So he's trying to make. I think he's trying to make something happen with nothing there. I mean.
Yeah. So he's still forcing it.
Yeah.
He's still forcing it.
I mean, what is that? 7 picks in 2 games.
Yeah.
And you can't win. You can't win the playoffs like that. I mean, you can't even do it in the regular season. You're lucky to do it then. But you come into the playoffs and you turn the ball over that much.
You're not going to win.
You can't win. I mean, there's just no way. Sooner or later, your luck's going to run out, and his did.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Awful.
It was great. Fantastic. I love it.
But here's the problem. They traded for Richardson because they wanted to have a power running game. Because they knew at this time of the year, you needed a power running game.
Right.
But Richardson never materialized. Like we all thought he would. He never materialized. That power running game doesn't exist. So now you have to throw, and you don't have Reggie Wayne. All you have is T.Y. Hilton. Hakeem Talib basically shuts him down. Now you got nowhere to go with the ball.
Well, I mean, but are we putting too much on Richardson? He's traded middle of the freaking year. I mean, he hasn't had time to look at their playbook, get ready. It
doesn't matter. I mean, all you got to do is read your blocks.
Well, you hope so.
The running back.
I mean, I know you don't fumble like he did in the KC game when he had his first, handoff and he fumbled his.
Running backs should be when you're a rookie, that's one of the easiest transitions from college to the pro.
Pros, yeah. Running backs always are more successful coming into the pros.
Yeah, a rookie quarterback, that's a lot tougher. But a rookie running back, when you just have it's the same play.
It's the same holes. I mean, the plays maybe are called differently, but hey, you got to run through the 2-hole, 3-hole, 5-hole, whatever.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
So, do you think Richardson's a bust then? Do you think it's time for the Colts to just throw this away, or what do you think they should do next year?
I'm not sure how great their offensive line is at blocking.
Run blocking.
Yeah, run blocking.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, even the owner of the Colts, Irsay, got on the case of the offensive line, saying you guys aren't good enough. Protect my quarterback. Open some holes. So even Irsay can see that he doesn't have a very good offensive line right now.
Yeah.
So I think that will change in the draft. I think in free agency for them, because they are going to have to protect Luck, and they are going to have to open some holes for a running.
Well, you have to, especially it's Andrew Luck. I mean, you have to. All right, next game, 49ers-Panthers. We all kind of called this. I mean, even though the Panthers are at home, great year, not taking anything away from Carolina fans at any stretch. However, the 49ers just look good. We talked about them when they faced Green Bay. They looked dynamite there. I mean, they squeezed out the field goal at the end of the game. But we kind of knew what was going to happen this game. We knew the 49ers were going to run the ball. We knew that Colin was going to either make some adjustments with his feet or fire that thing. Did both. And when they do both, and when that defense can stop Carolina and Cam Newton, that's all she wrote. I mean, that's it.
The two defenses are great. Carolina's and San Francisco's. I think they cancel each other out, so then you look at the offenses.
Right.
49ers have way more offensive weapons than the Panthers did.
And the Panthers, yeah.
Well, not to mention one of the Panthers' offensive weapons, Steve Smith, hobbled by the knee.
Yeah.
Let's face it, D'Angelo Williams is not exactly the greatest running back in the universe. He did share time with Stewart a lot.
Yeah.
Stewart's not there.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Williams can't carry the load.
Right.
Cam Newton is still, I don't think, as good of a thrower as Colin Kaepernick, and he's not even, I don't think, as good of a runner as Colin Kaepernick.
Right.
So I think all the advantages, they did go to San Francisco, and you saw that in the playoffs. The better team won.
Yeah.
And you can overcome a lack of stars with play calling, creative play calling,
Sure.
we agreed on that. Carolina did not have creative play calling.
No, especially when you're at the goal line.
There.
Yeah, when you get to the goal line and you struggle that bad. I mean, it is terrible.
Say, read it or ignore.
That's a message?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Why is the little red box talking? Does it want to be part of the show?
But anyway, when you stop them, at the goal line as many times as they did, I mean, and you get down there, you have to put touchdowns, or you're not going to win. And they went down there 3 times. Once went 4 on 4th, got stopped. Went again, stopped. I mean, they have Tolbert, who's like 600 pounds, like a Mack truck, and you can't get it in there. And neither could Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
They didn't even try anything different other than goal line formation. So.
Well, and we even talked about this. Who runs anymore a goal line formation on the goal line? Nobody. Everybody spreads everybody else out so that you give your quarterback options. There's wide receivers down there. Right. You make the defense. You don't let the defense all bunch into the middle. That's archaic 1980s, football football play calling.
Right.
Is let's just, mash everybody's heads together and see who wins.
Right.
Now the offense says, I can take advantage of this. And a lot of times you get those pass interference calls because everybody's bumping into each other.
Sure,
you can get that pass interference, 1st and goal, one more time, take 4 more shots at the end zone.
Right. Do something different. I mean, you have Greg Olsen. I mean, you have a number of weapons when it's the Panthers, and you go in this bunch formation and against one of the top defenses in the NFL.
With arguably the best front 7 in the game right now.
Right.
And
it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. The last game, Chargers-Broncos. This one almost felt like last year. It was starting to slip away. I mean, the Broncos come out. They're doing okay, but obviously, we're running the ball. We're running the ball a lot more, and that's what you're kind of seeing in all these kind of teams is they're running the ball a lot more. I mean, heck, we didn't even talk about it. Patriots had 4 touchdowns running the ball, but Broncos, Chargers, Broncos, no Sean, ball. They're getting the ball nonstop, and you got Peyton Manning, even though he's in the backfield. We're still handing it off quite a bit, but they barely win this game against a Charger team that we've never really faced in the playoffs. It's kind of amazing. Are the Broncos struggling a little bit here on offensive play calls, or I mean?
No,
go ahead.
This is McCoy. He is very familiar with what Peyton Manning can and cannot do. He was his offensive coordinator last year. He spent many, many, many hours in the rooms, with Peyton Manning, learning everything Peyton Manning likes to do.
Sure.
So of course he goes and he tells his defensive coordinator, "This is what you got to do with Peyton Manning."
Yeah.
Obviously, the one thing they didn't tell him to do
Right.
was stay on sides because the defense for San Diego kept jumping off sides.
Right. Because
But-
he probably told him, look, you just get to Manning, he's going to make mistakes.
Yeah, and they weren't able to get to Manning this time. He
Right.
didn't make a lot of mistakes. They were up big. All of a sudden, San Diego went into panic mode. We lose Harris, which hurts us a little bit because all of
Right.
a sudden Keenan Allen was able to get free.
Yeah, and Quentin Jammer was doing the exact opposite. Wasn't jamming. He had like 10 yards spaces on frickin' Allen, and Allen just blows past him. And you're giving a cushion at 10 yards. I'm thinking, you have some room. You should be able to run with this guy. And this guy's a rookie. He blows right past him. Is this going to be a problem as the Broncos play the Patriots?
I don't think the Patriots have a wide receiver as good as Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's a rookie, but I believe he's better than any wide receiver that's on the Patriots right now.
I agree.
So I'm not too worried about that. I really think that they're just going to plug in Champ Bailey, and Champ Bailey can cover Amendola or Edelman, and then you got DRC on the other side.
Who's a shutdown? Yeah.
And let's face it, we don't have to worry about Gronkowski this time. Gronkowski's not going to hurt us because they don't have a tight end right now.
Right,
so.
right. Okay, well, we'll see.
And
See what
I'm
happens.
sorry, LeGarrette Blount is not going for 4 touchdowns and 180 yards again. This was a guy who was relatively just a nothing the whole season.
Okay.
Has had 2 games lately, and now everybody's panicking, going, "Oh, we got to stop LeGarrette Blount." Whatever.
Not big, not too big of a concern.
I'm not
Randy,
concerned.
apparently.
No, I'm not concerned.
All right, so we'll talk about the 2 games we have coming up this Sunday. We have, and we'll just go into it, Broncos, Patriots. Now, Broncos, to win this game, what are they going to do? Oh, what do we have here?
We've got our first caller, it looks like.
Bruce from Wisconsin, you got your ears on.
Bruce is shy.
Is Bruce on?
Oh, wait, hang on. There you go.
We're having some technical
Sorry.
difficulties with
Still
our
trying to figure out
phone.
how to work our phone systems on the show.
Bruce, you there?
I'm here.
Bruce, how you doing? Hey, so what's your topic? What do you got for us today?
I'm calling to find out what you guys think would be the better matchups between the 4 quarterbacks. Would it be a better matchup between Brady and a more precision running offense against Kaepernick, who's more, I guess you could say, running and has a better running game and overall defense, or Manning against Seattle?
That's a good question.
That is a great question. Great question. So you're talking about the possible matchups in the Super Bowl and what would be more dynamic to watch. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Bruce.
Yep.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
So what do you guys think? That's a great question. So if you had to,
If it was your choice,
yeah,
what do you want to see?
what would you want to see in the Super Bowl between these 4 teams? What would be?
I want to go outside the box and say I want to say Manning versus Henne. Because I want an easy quarterback to face, not a hard one. But right now, if I have to pick, I want to see Manning versus Russell Wilson.
Really? Why? Why?
Because you're talking about a great young quarterback up against, of course, I'm a Denver fan, so I'm not going to lie. Peyton Manning right now is my favorite quarterback going in the NFL because he's a Denver Bronco.
Yeah.
If I had no allegiance to any of these teams, more likely I'm going to hate Brady and the Patriots still because everybody talks about him, so I'm not going to want to see Brady in there.
Yeah.
I want to see quarterbacks I like. I like Manning. I like Wilson. Manning had the best offensive season of all time.
Yep.
Russell Wilson never makes mistakes. He is the rare gunslinger / game manager. Never makes mistakes, but he can come up with big plays. So I would want to see precision versus, chaos in a box.
Okay. So I mean, how about yourself, Rolf? What do you think? That's a great question, by Bruce.
Yeah,
Great
I'm
question.
gonna go with Tom Brady because he's the best in the playoffs of maybe all time.
All time. Well, I mean,
possibly.
bottom line, yeah, his
Yeah.
record shows it.
Yeah. Versus Colin Kaepernick because he's just exciting to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
If he takes off and runs, I mean, he's halfway down the field before you even realize what's going on. I mean,
So quick.
Just nightmares from the Packer game.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
But
Wow.
that's tough to defend. Brady is tough to defend.
Yeah.
That's a great matchup right there.
That is a good matchup. That's a good match. Russell Wilson, think about it right now, as we've been talking about the dynamic of quarterbacks, and with Bruce's call. He kind of, reminds me of like a Steve Young, but faster. Steve Young was able to move around the pocket a lot with the Niners.
Yeah.
He would roll out. He'd create things with his feet at times. He'd fire that ball. Sometimes he ran the ball. It was a different dynamic going from Montana to a Steve Young by every stretch for the 49ers. And you look at that with the Seahawks as far as the Russell Wilson dynamic, and he kind of reminds me of a Steve Young that's faster. Very accurate with the ball, runs around the pocket. It's going to be hard to bring him down. The only thing that, stops Steve Young in his career short, and Russell will have to watch the same thing being a runner, as all these runners, is concussions, is getting hit. And that's the one thing I see with Russell Wilson. He doesn't get hit.
No.
He's running down the sideline, here comes guys, he's like, I ain't take that hit.
Yeah, you win.
He's like, forget it. I already got the first down.
Yeah.
I don't need to run anymore.
I actually won.
Right. He's not going to be that guy like Cam Newton's like, I'm going to do this backflip in the end zone and all this stuff and get blown up,
Yeah.
Where he plays a very smart football game, and that could spell trouble for the rest of the
and you have to look,
for many years to come.
And it's dangerous for a guy like Kaepernick because Kaepernick is so big. He will take on people.
Yeah, he'll
he will lower his his head and his shoulder, and he will take him on his Whereas Russell Wilson will never do that. Russell Wilson understands how important the quarterback position is. He understands how important. He's not a stupid man, but he's very smart. He understands he needs his brain for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't take these dumb hits, he'll get to keep it.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. It's very true. So, talking about the Broncos, the Patriots coming up here. Broncos, what do we have to do here? What does that team have to do to absolutely win this game?
Well, I'm reminded of we're coming up on the anniversary of a very famous clubbing, which was Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we need to hire some of the goons that she did to go and club Brady in the knee.
Oh,
and then
in the hotel? Sure.
It's like, hey, I guarantee you, if we face Ryan Mallett in the playoffs, I think we're going to win.
So what you're saying
Easily.
is you start blitzing him. You blitz Tom Brady in the game is what you're saying.
I blitz Tom Brady with baseball bats.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of bats.
That's
then
awesome.
Maybe the Colorado Rockies need to play
We
him
might as well
once.
just go Ryan Mallett versus Osweiler.
There you go. Right.
See what we have there.
Those are some good mediocre quarterbacks right there.
So what do you do? What do you do, Broncos, to win this game?
You put pressure on Brady. Brady doesn't like to be hit. He hates to be hit. You
Okay.
blitz him. Del Rio is an aggressive blitz caller.
Okay.
If you can get to Brady and you can hit him, the first half of that last game where we were kicking him pretty good, they were blitzing. They were putting a lot of pressure on Brady. Second half,
24-0.
yeah. Second half, we backed off of that.
Yeah.
And we let Brady get comfortable in the pocket, and it takes Brady an instant to forget all the hits, and he gets comfortable again, and he'll start picking you apart.
Yep.
Keep blitzing him. Let Sean Phillips come in there and crush him. Mincy come in there and crush him. Malik Jackson. Just let people hit him.
Yeah.
And Brady will fall apart. He does not like to be touched.
What about our offense against that defense?
Here's the way I see that playing out is
Yeah.
the Denver defense. I think what they're gonna do is say they're gonna take away that run and say beat us Tom Brady because you don't have anybody to throw to.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
If you let the Patriots run all over you,
Which is what has happened in the last
2 games.
The last 2 games, and that's how the Patriots have beat the Broncos. Is like, oh yeah, you want to do this? Okay, we're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
And that's it, or do swing passes, and you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you take away that run, make Tom Brady beat you because he's got nobody to throw to.
Right.
There's nobody. I'm not afraid of anybody on that
Wide
on that
receiver core. Yeah, I wouldn't be either.
Yeah, there's nobody to be afraid of on that wide receiving core, and for good reason. Like I said, we're talking about Keenan Allen of the San Diego Chargers being a better wideout than anybody that San Diego has right now, or that New England has.
Yeah.
And New England doesn't even have a tight end anymore. Hernandez and Gronkowski are gone,
Yeah.
so the Broncos don't have to worry about that. Yeah, right now, match up with that offensive line, crush the run. Like I said, put Tom Brady on his back, because if he has to throw and you're putting him on his back, then he's going to crumble, and you should be able to win the game pretty handily.
Yeah. Now, what about the Patriots in order to take down the Broncos? what do they need to do in order to do this? Because the Broncos have a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. I see that playing the opposite way, where they need to take away the pass.
Yeah.
They need to say, I dare you to run.
Yeah.
And take away that pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
yeah.
if you focus on the run, there's way too many weapons that the Broncos have. So you need to keep everybody back. Let your front seven control that line. And I think Belichick will have a good plan for that. I mean,
doing that.
He always does.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's what I see.
That's the way they're going to have to do it in order to stop the Broncos.
You can't try to take away both.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to take away something,
Right.
which what the Packers don't do. They don't take away anything.
Right.
That's what happens.
The Packers seem to take away their dignity every time they're out there. They seem to lose more and more of that. But
that is going to be a challenge. But from what we see time and time again, Brady figures out how to win. That guy does not quit. Doesn't matter what the score is. And we know that about the Patriots. Just because they're up by 3 points doesn't mean they're not just going to stop there. Yeah. They throw the ball. They want to beat you up. They'll do an onside kick. They'll do this. They'll do blitz packages. They want to win that game and win it handedly.
If the Patriots can keep it close, like running the ball, keep that game close.
Keep Peyton Manning on the sidelines.
Yeah. Tom Brady comes in at the end and he's got a shot. I mean, best quarterback in the playoffs ever, I think. So
time management. If it comes to be a shootout, I think the Patriots will lose handedly.
Oh yeah. If it's a shootout, forget about it because you don't have the weapons to shoot them out. But if you can keep it close and keep grinding that ball, you've got a shot at the end with Tom Brady.
With Tom Brady, most definitely. And obviously the last game, great game, San Fran, Seattle.
Crazy.
I mean, we have defensive champions here. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, gentlemen. I really don't think it is. I think we'll see a 13-10 kind of game, but we're going to see some of the hardest hits we've ever seen in the NFL this year.
Two defenses
because they're both mean,
and
they
hate each other.
This is not. There's not a lot of love there. So if you're San Francisco, how do you prepare for this game, and what do you focus on in order to take out the Seahawks in home?
Well, the easiest thing to do is you're going to have to stay on the field if you're San Francisco, running the ball. Then, of course, with Seattle, you have to take away their run. Because right now, we've seen Seattle has no wide receivers out there. And it's like, and Rolf's pointed this out. Yep. They get no separation.
Right.
They really don't. They get no separation whatsoever.
Right.
Russell Wilson has to run around like a madman in the backfield.
Right.
Just trying to, somebody please just make yourself open.
Get open. Yeah.
And they won't do it for him. They just refuse to get uncovered.
Sure.
And that was against the Saints. Now we're going against the Niners.
Yeah, now you're going.
The Niners are good.
The Saints defense average, the Niners defense really good.
Really good. Yeah.
So
I see that being a problem.
Yeah, it's going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
But if I match these two teams up, it's like I think that the front seven of the San Francisco 49ers can stop Lynch.
Yeah.
And the front seven for Seattle can stop Gore because they're so fast.
Yeah.
It's a difference. It's like the Seattle defense extremely fast in their front seven, the San Francisco defense extremely powerful.
Yeah.
But both of them, same result. They're going to stuff the run.
Right.
And those quarterbacks, they're not going to have a lot of room to go because it's like sideline to sideline, the defenses can keep up with both those quarterbacks.
Yeah, they can go hash to hash.
So, I'll be surprised if there is either team can get 2 touchdowns on the board. I mean, it is going to be
slugfest.
I wouldn't be surprised to see some injuries come out of this game too. I think these teams are going to hit each other so hard. There could be some key injuries that come out of this, which will weaken them for the Super Bowl. So Denver can win easier. Thank you very much.
We'll see. I mean, if you're Seattle, what do you plan for to take out Colin Kaepernick and the Niners?
I think you let your defensive backs cover their wide receivers.
No special formations, no double up, no nothing.
You've got three All Pros in your secondary out of the 4.
Yeah.
Your safety or your linebackers can cover. I think Vernon Davis.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. You have to bring a spy a little bit, right?
Yeah, and I mean, he's
fast. Linebacker?
He's fast, but so I mean that Seahawks defense is so fast.
Yeah.
I don't think they have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I think their front seven takes care of Frank Gore and Colin Kaepernick because they're fast. They swarm with the ball.
Yeah.
So I don't think they really have to do anything special. They play the same every week.
Yeah.
I mean they don't change anything drastically. They never do. They man up and they
Yeah.
And
they don't game plan for specific teams because they don't have to because their base defense that they do works every time.
Yeah.
Again, doesn't matter who it's against, it always works.
Extremely
So they don't have to be creative. Their defense is just good.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So And it's the same way with San Francisco's, though. They don't game plan.
Yeah.
See, we're talking about Denver and New England's defenses having to game plan to take something away because they're going to have to. The two defenses in the NFC don't have to do that. They can just play their defense their way, and it's good enough to stop just about anybody in the NFL.
Right. And that is going to be, I think in this game, what you're going to see is whoever makes the most mistakes will lose. And that means ball control. It means anything that gets messed up. If you fail to throw your red flag out there to challenge a call because it wasn't a reception, or you miss one opportunity, I think that'll cost one of these teams a game.
Normally that's where Russell Wilson would come in because he doesn't make bad decisions. He doesn't make mistakes.
Sure.
Colin Kaepernick has been very smart the last 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Yeah.
I have a feeling this could be one of those games where the ref actually makes all the difference by the referees missing maybe a crucial call somewhere in the game because this game is going to be so close.
Oh, you mean like a Fail Mary?
Yeah, like a Fail Mary or just a pass interference or something small.
That's too much.
We could be talking more about a referee miscall over what was a great game.
Well, what we definitely need is the refs, at least, especially in that game, to understand this is the NFL, this is the playoffs. Let them play the game.
I think they're going to let them play.
And I think in this one, they're just going to let them just knock each other out.
I just hope they're consistent. It's like, none of this, you call a ticky-tack, defense, pass interference call over here, and then this guy gets mugged over here and you just let it go. It's like, well, we're just letting him play at the end of the game. No, you called it over here, call it the same over here. That's all I ask.
I think the big difference this game will be that 12th man for Seattle.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, I think so.
They're so loud.
And again, it's going to be one mistake. I think it's going to be, in that game, it's going to be one mistake, one maybe return, one something that's going to just change it, and the other team's going to win. And we'll see how it turns out. So, all right. Well, that's it for us for week 2 of the playoffs. We'll be back here talking about who is in the Super Bowl and what we could possibly see. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching.